Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to make a video. I am still sick, and because I am still sick, apparently this means that I have de-evolved from being a World of Warcraft player to being a Warcraft 3 player. Go figure. I'm in that weird stage of throat cold sickness where you're recovering, but your body demands that you cough, like, constantly, so it's really effing annoying. So, in this video, we are going to attempt to take on 3 insane computers as human. I literally probably haven't done this in about 5 years. Your army composition changes. Your base layout changes when you're facing 3 insane computers at a time. And your hero choices change when you're fighting 3 insane computers at a time. I do not like fighting 3 insane computers because it's incredibly boring for me personally. When I fight 2 insane computers, I can build an army that is powerful enough to be able to stand toe-to-toe against like 1.5 enemy AI armies. So I let the enemy AI crash onto my turrets. I basically crush at least one of their armies worth of forces on my turrets, and then I can go on the counterattack for a while until they kind of outproduce me. And my goal has always been to be able to build an army that is actually able to take on 2 insane computers in a toe-to-toe fight and win. Haven't been able to do that yet, but I have gotten to the point where I can face like 1.5 enemy insane AI armies and be victorious. If you don't think that's an achievement, then you don't know the insane how many buffs and bonuses the insane AI computer gets. Like, they literally do like double damage and they take like half damage. It's kind of nuts, and they get more gold than you and blah 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 blah. Well, like I said, when I was growing up as a kid and playing Warcraft 3, I started with getting good enough to beat 1 insane computer. And then I moved on to getting good enough to beat 2 insane computers, and then I moved on to seeing how many insane computers could be beaten by each of the factions, right? So as human, you can beat 3 to 4 enemy insane computers. I wouldn't say no problem. It's definitely, you need to know what the hell you're doing. Orc, I don't think they can take on 4, but I know they can take on 3 insane computers. How they do it is they use their witch doctors, and they use their sentry wards to see the enemy army coming. And when the enemy army it starts approaching, you put down 1,000,000 stun turrets, and basically you just stun the shit out of the enemy while shooting them with the towers, and it's kind of GG's. You still need to know what the hell you're doing, but it's not hard if it is a little boring. Horde really struggled to build an army to be able to take on even 2 insane AI computers in the field. You can kind of get away with it with a bunch of Taurens instead of Knights, and then you spirit link them all together. You can have at least 1 or 2 Bloodlust guys in there, and away you go. Big Blad Voodoo and a bunch of Troll Berserkers. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's also not very good, so be advised. I don't think I've ever been able to take on 3 insane computers as undead. You need a very specific maps in order to that are very disadvantageous to the insane AI, like have plateaus and stuff sticking out. Teneris is a really good example of a map that the insane AI has actually really struggle with, but I consider that to be kind of cheating. They can take on 2 insane AIs, but 3 is a bridge too far for them. The same is kind of true for Night Elf. Night Elf really struggle to take on 2 insane AIs, and 3 is just too much for them. Their ancient protectors just don't build fast enough, and they kind of suck. They're also fat as fuck, so you can't get a lot of them going. Really, really annoying to try to take on more than 2 insane AI computers as Night Elf. So Orc can do it, and Human can do it, and Human's my favorite faction, so we're going to do it with Human. Drink of water. Alright, so the first thing to talk about is what changes. Like I said, your base layout changes, your hero composition changes, and your army composition changes for this fight. So, if you recall, against 2 insane AI computers, I prefer, over the years, to have Paladin, Alchemist, and then your third and final hero can either be a Pit Lord, Yeah, Pit Lord, or it can be an Archmage. Either of those is a really, really good bet. The Archmage gives you basically infinite mana on your two overpowered healers in the Alchemist and the Paladin. The Archmage also makes it so that you you don't have to take anywhere near as many priests, so you can have like a couple more knights in your army because you only need like 4 priests. Or you could not have a couple more knights in your army, and you could start taking a couple sorceresses and some spellbreakers. The mana aura is just that broken. Also, it gives you amazing counterattack capability with his mass teleport. However, when you're facing the insane AI computers, you specifically want to take Archmage, you want to take Blood Mage, and you want to take the Alchemist. Now, the reasons why you're doing this are very simple. Both the Archmage and the Blood Mage can sit behind your defensive structures and AoE the crap out of the enemy. You can do a lot of flame strikes. You can do a lot of... that reminds me, I guess I need to set up his hotkeys since we're going to be using him for this shenanigans. Okay, no, we don't want Q. We want E. What's his most used one? Wait, is he already set up? EWR, EWQ, EW... Yeah, he's already set up. So I guess it's just going to be Q. E is fine. Okay, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. These two guys together can AoE the crap out of the enemy army while they're stuck on your defenses, which is kind of a really big deal when you're going against more than 2 insane AI computers. Doing a lot of AoE damage to the enemy. It's also the best way that you're going to... It's the only real way you're going to level up your heroes at all, since you don't get any XP from tower kills, and it's way too dangerous for you to go out and try to take on the insane AI at any time during the fight with an army. The Alchemist is here because his ultimate gives you a ton of gold and can give you some very serious late game options. So even if you're like pinned back behind your defenses, you don't have a gold mine anymore, the Alchemist basically becomes your gold mine, especially since he has infinite mana from the Archmage. But more importantly, he's a reasonable hero for healing, and he has the only healing spell in the game other than your priests, which are not that great at it, that can heal the spellbreakers. And this is kind of a big part of your army, because the army that you are going to end up building is going to basically be just a shit ton of spellbreakers. So you're going to have a Blood Mage, you're going to have an Archmage, you're going to have an Alchemist, and you're going to have something stupid like 12 plus spellbreakers. They frontline for your knights. It would be really, really nice if we had a Paladin, because at least that way the Paladin's Devo aura could affect your spellbreakers. But it's just kind of more important that we have a healer that can actually AoE heal the spellbreakers and keep them alive. Since you can't target heal them with a Paladin, and you can't... that's the main downside to spellbreakers, is they're absolutely amazing, but you can't heal them very well, and the only hero that can even remotely heal them is the Alchemist. So late game potential, healing, we just have to say sayonara to the Paladin, even though he's really, really good in my opinion. But yeah, so your army's going to consist of like a bunch of spellbreakers, maybe a few sorceresses, and maybe a few priests. The priests are just there to heal. You don't even want knights in the mix. You could do Goblin Warder teams. That's not the worst thing in the world. But basically, you just have a frontline meat shield of spellbreakers, and you just nuke the crap out of whatever's in front of you with Blizzard and Flame Strikes, and you just mass heal with your Alchemist, and you can kind of sort of take fights. But it's more about your base layout and cheesing the shit out of the AI. So one of the reasons why I really enjoy fighting 2 insane AI computers is if I build myself like an 80 or a 90 supply army, I can actually go onto the field and take them on in straight up fights. I can do that versus Night Elf, I can do that versus Undead, I can do that versus Orcs, I can do that versus humans. I can actually build an army worthy of Mordor that can actually go toe-to-toe with 2 insane computers to a large degree. But I can't do that against 3 insane computers. And 3 insane computers have some very specific ways you need to cheese against them. And we're going to open up the MS Paint so I can visually try to describe this. All right. Let's say this is your base, and that'll do. And let's say this is your base. We've got like a patch of trees over here, and we got like a patch of trees over here. And we'll say that this is like your town center or whatever the hell, right? And so, what? What do you mean that's blue? Nobody likes blue. Come back. We need green for trees, and then we'll do blue. Hexagon for town center. No. Blue hex. Control Z. There we go. And this is like your town center, just where your town is in general, right? And this is like the defensive perimeter that we're looking at, kind of needing to deal with. To turret and tower up, basically. I'm going to use purple. Well, what do I want to do here? Yeah, I'll use blue for buildings, and I'll use purple for towers. If you are towering up like this, right? Let's say you're building a bunch of lumber mills here, and you're building a bunch of towers, like purple's for towers, and then blue is for our buildings. If you build your defenses like this, the insane computer is going to annihilate you. Like, it doesn't matter if you leave holes open for your heroes to flame strike and do all that good stuff. It doesn't matter if you do this or that or the other thing. The AI, there's so much fucking meat in their army, and they do not die for fuck all, for shit. Like, they take so long to die because they have like a 50% damage reduction that they are just going to man their way. They're going to brute force their way through your defenses. Literally, you cannot kill them. It's not even a killing them fast enough thing. No, they're going to walk over your defenses. And if you don't, you play enough of this game, you'll know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Instead, you want your defenses more like this. And these are trees, so we could chop into them theoretically, right? All right, let's do this. And then zoom in again, and then scroll up. Perfect. So you want your defenses more like this. You want a wider area for your defense, if possible. I know that sounds weird, but it is what it is. You also want it angled in such a way from where the enemy AI are. So if the AI were like directly north of this position, like let's say that's where their starting locations were, directly north of this, I would not even consider taking this base for defensive purposes. I would only take this base for defensive purposes if the AI was south of my location, or if they were, I want to say west of my location. So if they were this way on the map, or if they were south of the map. Because if they're north of me on the map, they're going to hit into my defenses directly, which is not what we're designing our defenses for here at all. But assuming that they're spawned not directly north of me, but someplace else, you build your defenses like this. You wall off a section. You leave a hole over here for the enemy, here for your army to go in, and for the enemy army to go out. I'm actually going to zoom out here and scroll it down a little bit so we can get a much better understanding of what's happening here. Boom. So that's more accurately what it would look like. Okay, cool. So the enemy army will show up basically from this direction, and they're going to get stuck on your turrets starting basically as the enemy army is going to be basically moving this way. And they'll get stuck on your turrets, and there'll be fewer and fewer of them as they come in this way. And then finally, the enemy army, especially their heroes in particular, will... Come on, I want the down button. There we go. They'll eventually come into your base like this. So enemy army is going to start by getting stuck over here. There's a million turrets shooting them. You also set up your turrets like this, right? So you'll have like your nice big brick of turrets. And then the last thing you do is you put a giant brick of turrets like right here. I want to put, yeah. Like a big fucking enormous brick of turrets right there. And then you put like some turrets like right here. And these are specifically arcane tower turrets. I'm going to try to use a little blue in here to represent arcane tower turrets. So we'll have arcane tower turrets here, and we'll have arcane tower turrets there. Usually I also like making these arcane tower turrets for other reasons, but they're cheaper, and they actually beat up enemies a lot more. Now this is mission critical for beating 3 insane computers, in my experience at least. Especially as human. This is the human way of doing it. But this works for different reasons, even if you're playing Orc or whatever. So you want to identify where the enemy army is coming from, and you want to build this wide layer of defenses. So the enemy army shows up here. It starts attacking your turrets here, gets stuck. But most of the enemy forces that are not engaged are trying to walk around here, and they're trying to get into here to attack these turrets. The reason why we build a huge brick of turrets here, I'm talking like 4 by 5 or something stupid like that, with no breaks in it whatsoever, for even being able to repair, is because the AI, when they use their like their shockwave spell or their AoE spell that is designed to just damage buildings and hurt turrets, they always try to do it against... they always try to cast the spell in such a way that they hit as many turrets as possible. And so what the enemy AI, like the Tauren Chieftain, for example, or that level 6 Farseer with Earthquake, or whatever the hell, or the Lich with Decay and Undeath, or God forbid, even the Priestess of the Moon with Starfire. God help us all. I mean, Starfall. The AI it's going to look at casting a shockwave here and see it can only hit like 8 turrets. It's going to look at casting a shockwave here and see it can only hit 8 turrets. It's going to look at casting a shockwave over here and see they can hit like 12 turrets or more. And the AI will psychotically run all the way around our defenses. Like, you'll watch the Tauren Chieftains literally keep running down here, keep running all the way over here, and only when they get right here will they do a shockwave to try to hit as many turrets as possible. But the enemy army units will get bogged down attacking you and so forth and so on, but the heroes will kind of psychotically try to run in here, and the entire time they're getting pelted by arcane turrets. So by the time they get all the way over here, they don't even have any mana to shockwave anymore. And it's just sad and pathetic, and they end up dying. Army location for you, your heroes, of course. I'm going to use green. No, we use green for buildings. We use orange for allied heroes. Your heroes are going to be like over here, right? You'll have like an arcane mage. You'll have like a blood mage. They'll be AoEing the crap out of the enemy here. But your alchemist and your main army are virtually without exception. Let's not do yellow. We'll do this. Brown, sure. Are going to be like located over here. And basically, once enough enemies go through here to get down into this area, your army will come over here and start intercepting. So that way, I would say about 2/3 of the enemy are fighting somewhere in this area. Maybe 1/3 of them are fighting here, and a portion of the enemy are on a death march into the middle of your base. Absolutely critical that you do this base loadout, or you can't fight more than one insane computer. Now, I haven't tried this in years, so it's going to be really, really interesting to see if I can even remember how to do this. But that is basically the TLDR on how to fight multiple insane computers. This video is already probably long as hell. Yeah, it's almost a 20-minute video. So I'll upload this video separately, and then I will literally go fight the 3 insane computers. Let's go back here. Let's at least set it up at the end of this video. So custom games, I think. No. We go single player in custom games. So yeah, I think we're in single player. we're gonna do a Frozen Throne map. Bet your ass. Says it's 3 insane AI. I kind of want like a level 6. I want a 6 map that has a lot of bases. I don't like fighting because they'll run out of money pretty quickly if I fight them on maps and that's where the real danger is when you fight them on maps that have lots of of gold mines. So this map only has one expansion per player. That's pretty shit. Do I fight them on an 8-player map? That's the question. That's 1 gold mine per map. That's really bad. I never fought on that one before. Copper Canyon looks like dog shit. This is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's like 1 per player and then 3 extra in the middle. Kind of interesting. It says Mesa, which means plateau, which I don't really like. Jungle Fever, we already looked at that one. Moonglade. I might have to do an 8-player map because it'll have the required number of gold mines that I really like. What's this? Okay, that's interesting. There's enough to go around. It's not bad. I think I'll just do an 8-player map and say screw it. Deadlock. Deadlock's not bad, I guess. I haven't played on any of these, so I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. I might accidentally pick a map where it's one of those where you can really easily beat the AI, because they have, like, whatchamacallit. I remember Friends was really good, but if I recall correctly, these are, like, locked off behind wood chopping, so expanding is really easy here. I also vaguely remember that defending yourself is kind of a nightmare on this map, but I can't remember. Full-scale assault. I remember I liked this map. This was one of my favorites back in the day, Garden of War. Should we try Garden of War? I'm looking at it from a human perspective. There's no fast expand. Not that can't even remember if I fast expand. This is one of my favorite maps. We might do this one. I know Gold Rush really well. Gold Rush is easily one of my favorite maps. Yeah, we might end up doing Gold Rush. I just recall I really liked Emerald Gardens. Yeah, I remember I really liked Allies because it has that thing in the middle. It's got the Goblin Shop in the middle or whatever. But if I recall correctly, Gold Rush is really good. Golems in the Mist. I remember I hate this fucking map for some reason. I can't remember why. But yeah, Gold Rush is absolutely amazing. Alright, we'll go do Gold Rush. We'll put it on normal speed. And we will add some AI computers. Insane. Insane. Team 2 and Team 2. And I do not want you. That's my color, motherfucker. Purple's mine. Alright, now the question is, I think I'm going to add one more computer. I'm going to put it on Insane. I'm going to make it Orc. And I think I'm going to go against... if I recall... Okay, so... Fighting 3 Insane Undead is the easiest for human. Fighting 3 Insane Night Elf is the second easiest. And then fighting 3 Insane Orc is by far the hardest. 3 Insane Humans are actually really easy because you just snipe down their Dragonhawk Riders. And their heroes have psychological issues trying to get to your massive towers in the background, so they kind of get annihilated. Orc is just rough. Orc is rough because... if each Orc AI is going to choose 2 heroes, and it really, how rough it is really depends upon how many of these Orcs chose Shadow Hunter. Because if all 3 of these choose Shadow Hunter, and you're going to have so many fucking Serpent Wards, the Serpent Wards themselves will just annihilate all of your turrets. But thank God you're playing on Gold Rush that has a shit ton of gold. I vaguely remember I like putting one Insane AI computer on the map just to kind of distract the enemy Insane AI. Otherwise, it can be kind of painful, like just how quickly the Insane AI attack you. But I can't remember. I don't think it's needed, but again, I haven't done this in like 5 years, so we're just going to do that. Definitely going to choose human. All right. So anyways, I'm going to end this video here in Deus Vult, and then I'll immediately record the other one as soon as I'm done recording this one. All right, Deus Vult.